Hardy Super Chat. Look at that right there. Turbo Bastard is in the building, and he's coming through the Hardy Super Chat. $10 Super Chat. Love to see it. And as such, we're going to go ahead and continue our game. And hopefully this time it doesn't crash. But I think the game was running. There was too much going on. The computer's overheating or something. I have no idea what's going on. But nonetheless, right here, make an HTML video game horror game about a farmer who defends his farm from the ghouls. The game is called Ghouls at the Farm. Objective: survive as long as possible. The game tracks how long the player lasts and displays, how do we spell? Displays the time once the player. Okay. Let's we gotta work on that title screen.
Need some coffee.
Screen to really pop. Title screen.
Give me coffee.
Big, bold,
Balls.
white font on black.
Good afternoon,
big,
Michael
big,
does.
Bold, white impact font.
Good afternoon, Michael does.
Font. Background. Slowly
Where's my cup?
fading
Oh, there
in.
it is.
Ghouls of the Farm. Okay.
Need some
It
coffee.
slowly fades out once the player clicks.
I've been slowly fixing my hair too, by the way, in case you're wondering like why it looks
To
the way it does.
reveal
I've been slowly fixing the terrible
menu.
haircut I got. Slowly.
Okay, we're gonna do the main menu real quick
It's so hard to cut your own hair, isn't it?
before it crashes, man. Main menu. Main menu. Start game. No, new game, right? New game. About who made the game. World class. New game. Starts new game.
Get me some coffee, guys.
Survive as long as possible. The player plays as Jack, a farmer with an old rusty shotgun who is defending his farm.
Kitty Town this time.
Shit. The player can
I normally have
only
Death Wish,
move
but
left and right
it's all gone.
and aims down towards the zombies, the ghouls, approaching
I also have many
the
cups,
farm at
and I
the top.
haven't used this one too much, so
The farm at the top of the screen.
I like mugs.
Shotgun is old and can jam dynamically if the player spams. Good.
Oh, that's good.
What are we missing here?
That is good, man.
The player plays as Jack, a farmer
Oh, no, what
with
are
a
you
rusty
missing?
shotgun who is defending his farm. The player can only move left and right and aim down towards the ghouls approaching the farm at the top.
Good afternoon, Michael does.
Approaching the farm at the top of the screen. Shotgun is old and can jam dynamically if the player spams. The game tracks how long the player lasts and displays the time once the player dies. In the same style as the title card. Guys, are we locked in or not? Hello? You're going to be blown away here.
It's clearing it out, that's for sure.
Okay, let's see if we got this making sense. If it doesn't make sense, it's going to spit out garbage. Make an HTML video game, horror game about a farmer who defends his farm from the ghouls. The game is called Farm. Title screen. Big bold white impact font on black background, slowly fading. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Slowly fades in. rules of the farm. It slowly fades in once the player clicks on.
Well, in the draw on the tablet somewhere. Use that drawing on the tablet. I like when he draws on the tablet. I think everybody likes it when he draws on the tablet. If he just sat there and did shoutouts and just drew on the tablet, I think he would get like even more views because like he's actually really good at it. He has nice handwriting. That's what it is. What is in my... Oh, that's gonna bug me. Hold on. Maybe a little flosser here. I have a little tiny piece of crumb like in the crevice of my PlayStation control button, and I'm trying to like get it out because I can't stand it when crumbs get under buttons. I'm just trying to get one out of there. It's got to be clean. I have to clean it. It's got to like feel a certain way when I'm holding it. It can't be greasy. Have somebody's like food on it. You know what I mean? It's got to feel a certain way. Yeah. It's better now. It's better now. It is good coffee. So we've talked about this before. It's still the same one. It's just got Death Wish in between. So I finished off the Death Wish first. Kitty Town. This is the Albert blend. It's Albert's favorite blend. Kitty Town. It's good. It's actually good. It's just not very bold, if that makes sense. It is a good flavor, but this particular blend it doesn't seem high in caffeine content. So it's more just for the drinkability of it. I personally drink coffee to kind of like, feel refreshed. I think a lot of people do. And so like for me, like the higher caffeine content helps. I like Death Wish for that reason, because it's I think twice the normal amount. It's also why, believe it or not, for some of you that don't know about this, my favorite coffee is actually sort of kind of opposite of what I normally like. I normally like sort of kind of like a medium to dark roast. I don't like typically lighter blonde roasts, but believe it or not, Player One is the brand. They have a coffee, and it's actually Leroy Jenkins. Believe it or not, it is actually called Leroy Jenkins. It's my favorite coffee. So they did him justice by giving him a good coffee because again, I don't like blonde roasts at all, and it's that good that like I open it, it's like, oh, it's like heaven. It's like, why does this smell so freaking good? And it's twice the caffeine content. It's a blonde roast that's like double the caffeine. It's so good. I can guzzle it down. It's so good. It really does not feel like a blonde roast. It's a nice, hefty coffee. Again, I also like Zach Wild's signature blend, Valhalla Java. Odin Force blend. I like that one. That is made by Deathwish BT Dubs. But it's Zach Wild's line of coffee. It's his signature line of coffee. Again, I've made reference to the fact this is the sticker that's on my PC. Yeah. Valhalla Java Odin Force blend. Very good coffee. It is made by Deathwish. So if you like Deathwish and you're like, I don't know, I really like Deathwish, it's made by Deathwish. So it doesn't hurt to try it. You're still gonna get your little Deathwish sticker and everything. I think you still get it with that one. Pretty sure you do. I've gotten so many over the years from ordering straight from them. No, Deathwish does have a much wider product line now because they're in like Walmart and everything now. Everybody sort of started recognizing how good they were. I think it's sort of the top-rated coffee now. So I think it just like once people realized how good it was like, why are we selling this in Walmart? You know, but I think Player One it's a crime to not consider that, in my opinion, because it's extremely good too. And I think it's just going to take a streamer to, you know, enough streamers or something to boost it or something like that. But again, recommend Player One, Leroy Jenkins, as my top. And again, Valhalla Java Odin Force blend is extremely good too. It's very, very close for me. And Deathwish medium roast. I like that one too. You got the light, you got the medium, and you got the dark. There's a perfect trifecta for you. There you go. You try them all. Perfect trifecta for you. You can be cultured all the same, and not call it, not label it as something except cultured. You know, you're trying more things. You're opening your mind. So yeah, you go try that blonde roast. You can go get the Leroy Jenkins blonde roast. You can get again the medium roast, Deathwish, or the Odin Force blend. Zach Wild coffee, Valhalla Java, Odin Force blend. He just put out a song literally yesterday. Well, no, it's technically today, I think. Technically it's today, but I guess it felt like yesterday. It was today, I guess, technically. Yeah, it dropped on YouTube. He has an album coming out. It's the Black Label Society has an album coming out later this year. They dropped The Gallows and what's it called? I just saw it today, so I'm actually not even... I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was a funny name, too. So, like, the video is so funny. The video is so funny. He did it again, as he normally does. I forgot that's what it was called. Lord Humongous. Yeah. Yeah, Lord Humongous. I like it. I like it. It's actually a little bit of a different sound than their normal thing, but it still sounds like Black Label. Like, he's just trying to change it up a little bit, not necessarily make every album the same. And that's good. I love that video, though. It was so funny. Okay, like, I'm looking at the thumbnail, and Zach's just wearing, like, this big old... they're wearing sumo suits. You know what a sumo suit is? Like inflatable ones too, like just goofy ones. And he's wearing a hockey mask. like a 90s hockey mask. And they're just playing their instruments. Yep. Quality, top quality content, I love it. It was so funny. I was laughing. Lord Humongous. Love it. Yeah, Black Label Society, Lord Humongous, and then The Gallows, too. The Gallows I liked a little bit better as far as a song. I like it a little bit better than Lord Humongous, but I like them both. But if you didn't check out The Gallows yet, whew, you're missing out. Good song. And a not so funny video. Like, the video is more like a music video. It's actually a cool video. Really cool video. It is. You like, I love the close-ups of like his guitar neck and stuff. Like I like that. I like what you can do with like close-ups. Like you zoom in. They had like a nice little zoom in of like his guitar neck when he's doing a slide. It looked really cool. You know, Disturbed is popping out an album too? Did you know that? I think they're doing what they did last time, sort of. But we'll see. We'll see. Not this time. I'm talking about, Immortalized. I think it's coming, like, sooner than you think. I don't know. I don't know that for sure. I don't want to say that. Don't take my word for it. But I think. Because, I just know, it seemed like they were a lot closer to being done with it. Like, just the way the announcement kind of went, it sort of seemed like they were kind of almost done. And stuff can come out a lot faster these days. But I don't know. Don't take my word for it. But, new Disturbed album. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. And remember with Immortalized, alright, so what they did with Immortalized, this is genius, by the way. This was genius. They took a hiatus, remember, from Asylum, they took a hiatus. And honestly, truthfully, they needed to kind of, like, evolve as a band. And figure themselves out, figure out, you know, like, sometimes people need to take a hiatus. Like, I don't know them, I don't know anything about their dynamic and, you know, as friends and stuff like that, and as people. But, like, you know, so I can't speak for them, but, like, from my standpoint, as far as the music is concerned, I actually wasn't dissatisfied with Asylum, but knowing the way it sounded and the direction they were going, it was the sort of thing where eventually the stuff would have started to sound a little bit too repetitive. I didn't think that Asylum did, though. I thought they did very well. I thought the album was awesome. I loved The Animal. Asylum was cool. Infection. Was an Infection on there? The infection must die. So, like, honestly, there really were a lot of good ones on there that people forget about. I was actually pretty happy with it. I really, really was. All of it. I listened to the hell out of that album. I just don't understand why people complained about it. I really don't. But, again, had they not taken that hiatus, I don't think they would have wound up with Immortalized. I don't. I just don't. I don't think it would have. I don't think the Sound of Silence would have happened. I don't think like just where they ended up, where it, how far it came. Like the Vengeful one being as good as it was, the first one we heard from the hiatus. This was the point. Was they didn't announce anything. We didn't know if they were ever going to be a band again. We had no idea. Meanwhile, in the background, they got back together. They were working on an album, didn't tell anybody. They kept it under wraps. And then, they filmed a little thing. And then, a couple of days before it came out, I think it was Mike, the drummer. I think it was him. Like had a little video that he released on social media, like teasing the album, and I thought that was so cool, and it was genius marketing because it was days from release, and nobody knew they were coming back. It was. Imagine like all right, so like imagine like they were doing like a new Civil War style movie or something like that. You know, like with Avengers or something, where there's like some key Avengers coming back, and they didn't tell you about it. They just didn't tell you about it. Didn't tell you about it, and then 2 days from release, surprise, you get a trailer for a full movie, and it's coming out in 2 days, and it's literally like I don't know, like Tony Stark's Iron Man. I don't know, versus Black Panther or something like that, like a new Black Panther or something, or you know, like one of the other Avengers or something like that. You know, like it's just awesome. You know, like the point is like it's like one of the original guys versus one of the new guys, or one of the old guys versus one of the old guys. You know, it's just something cool. It's like a whole new Civil War thing. It's like that scale. It like that's how I feel. Like it's that type of a thing where you're super excited about it. You're super excited about it because you didn't know this was even happening. You missed the band. You missed what the music meant to you. And you're excited to hear what they were going to come up with next. And you just had no idea. You're just like, man, when could it ever even possibly ever even remotely happen if they're on a hiatus? You know, like we didn't even know. And then just boom, 2 days we're releasing an album. And it was that good. It was that freaking good. And it was the one with Vengeful One. It had the light. It had the Sound of Silence. It had so many good ones. I liked Fire It Up too. Fire It Up was cool. Immortalized was good too. The Vengeful One though, like that was I listened to that so much. But I was trying to think. Legion of Monsters too. I liked Legion of Monsters. I liked a lot of the like heavier tracks at the end, but that's just my personal. You know, I like that stuff. Just like with like the new album, I typically like the heavier songs. Like I know "Hey You" ended up being the first one on the new one, like the single instead of like their normal format. You know how like they normally kind of like put the single kind of like the second or third track. They didn't do that this time, but "Hey You" first, and then they put fuck. Unstoppable. Sorry, I'm freaking just brain block for a second. I am unstoppable. Unstoppable. And then Love to Hate was really cool. I liked that one. I mean, I liked a lot of it. I liked it all, actually. I often listened to all of it, start to finish. It was just really short. Just really short. I'll often go for a car trip and listen to the entire album, and it starts over before the trip's done. Serious. And it's a good album, but I'm out of music by the time, like, I guess it starts. You know what I mean? Like, I listen to "Hey You," and then I get to the last song, and I'm like, yeah, good song, good album, you know. I'm like rocking out, and all of a sudden I just starting to hear it and and I'm like, oh, it started over already. Okay, I'll listen to "Hey You" again. That's fine. I personally like the long albums with the bonus tracks at the end that are heavier and stuff. I love that stuff. That's what I listen to. That is what I listen to. I mean, it's okay for me to get the singles and stuff like that. I like that stuff, but the stuff that's close to my heart, that's the stuff that the artist liked, probably the stuff that they spent time on, that probably a lot of people not necessarily listen to, but that's the art. It's because they don't understand it. They want pre-packaged stuff they kind of relate to and understand, which is the single. And that's the history of music. A lot of people didn't accept unformatted music when it started kind of showing up, which is, yeah, I mean, like Bohemian Rhapsody, that was like that was the whole reason they, you know, not reason, but like a lot of the motivation, I think, for that, you know, essentially was talking about that, you know, like essentially that issue where people won't accept music because they don't understand, you know, it's not a format, you know, like it can't progressively change for some reason just because somebody needs to hear something that sounds the same from start to finish. You know what I mean? Like it has to play the same chords or something like that and have a, you know, have the same end that it has the beginning. No, it doesn't have to do that. It can progress. It can grow. It can still be a 3/4 song and still have different parts that sound different all the way through. It doesn't have to suddenly change tempo or anything like that even. It can still be a 3/4 or 4/4 and still have those parts and still be a good song. It doesn't have to be formatted. That's the point. That's what a lot of what Queen did for music is essentially, you know, showing an entire generation what progressive music is. You know, like how to essentially take a song and build. You know, sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's happy, sometimes it's energizing, and that's, you know, breakdowns. You know, like that's the point. It's supposed to bring out those emotions. That's art, man. A format, you hear that any time of the day you want. You just turn on the radio. It's all over. We've heard plenty of that. That's what a lot of these artists want you to realize, that like the bonus tracks and the stuff kind of thrown in at the end, like the longer stuff, that's the stuff that they were hoping that you'd like. And so like they kind of feel insulted, and like some of them, that's why they trimmed down the albums and they went down to 10 tracks and stuff. They sort of kind of felt insulted by the fact that the fan base was being a certain way and was giving them a hard time when they're sitting here pouring their hearts into 15-track albums that you don't give a shit about. You know, I guarantee you, like, that's the point, is like some of these folks, like, this is why I would start to you guys know I start a stream sometimes. I'll play a Disturbed song or something like that. This is why I did that. It's not to gain traction or anything like that. It's to actually give them support and show them that it's just that people aren't hearing it. They refuse to listen to that. Anybody that plays that album won't play that fucking song because they think they won't listen to it. It's literally just a sit-down thing where nobody sits down and actually does it. And so, like, that's why, like, I'll start a stream, I'll put this fucking epic song on. You know, because that's the point, is, like, please listen to this. And so sometimes you just have to get people to listen to it. You just have to play it. I thought that was some of the smartest marketing, too, was when I went to the K-pop concerts. You know, some of you guys, like, that don't think highly of them, it's just like, I don't understand that either, because music's music, you know. And I thought it was really smart marketing, the fact that they were just before the concert, they were playing music videos on the huge screens as we were walking in and stuff. It's really loud, too, so you can jam out to it. But the point is, like, and other stuff, too, not even just music videos, like other songs and stuff. People will, if they're new to it or something like that, the point is, like, they can go to a concert, have no idea who these people are, and still go to a concert. Why are you taking your demographic and, like, kind of, like, limiting it and making the fans feel the burden of essentially what they don't understand? Because in my opinion, it's just bad marketing. Like I understand you want to be an artist and you can kind of do what you want, but in my opinion, you're going to get a lot more out of this if instead of trimming it down and not putting the work in, still do that, but now sell it a little bit better. Have a better plan for how you're going to market that song instead of, sticking them at the end of a CD. Yeah, so you doing that. I mean, I get it, but trust me, I do. I get it. I don't mean that as an insult. I don't. Like, I do get it. I would probably feel the same way. I really would. But you also have to realize that you probably want to make some more money, right? And you like those songs too. So if you want to create those and you want to make some more money off of them, again, it's just hire a better marketing guy or something. Like, that's what I would do. I would honestly just look at who's doing your marketing and can't deduce the fact that throwing bonus tracks on a CD at the end is not how you market songs. We'll throw these on a bonus track at the end because the record company doesn't want them. No, that's what they used to do, because that's the record company wanted you to hide them. That's why they did that. Remember, you didn't know what bonus tracks were. You didn't even have a track title. You had to listen to the last track and play it through for the song to even play. It was like a secret. They did that on purpose to screw with the record company. That was how it started. Yeah, because record companies, that was the point. The good stuff was at the end. And the point was that they were sticking it to the record companies, by silent, sort of like when the record companies would behind their backs then bleep lyrics in albums they were selling at Walmart and stuff, and they shouldn't have been doing that. That's the point. So they, it goes back and forth a little bit over the years, and that's how they started sticking it to them. So in my opinion, a lot of these bands now contract and subcontract through companies they can easily work with that are way, way more understanding than it used to be. Because, think about how many people just build recording studios now because everything's digital. So, hear me out. Okay? We don't sell CDs anymore, right? You're having problems selling CDs? Okay. Think about what K-pop people do. Think about what they do to sell albums, CDs. I actually thought Zach had a really good idea here. Zach is doing it. He knows what's up. That guy's smart, man. He's evolving with the times. He sees these things too, and he has to adapt too. Album's coming out later this year, maybe. He doesn't know when. He's busy. He's working on it. Yet he dropped 2 singles on YouTube to gain traction, support. Here's what the album's going to sound like. We don't know when it's out, but we're done with these 2. That's smart. Because people want to hear it. I love listening to these while I'm waiting for the album. But I still want the fidelity of that CD. Yeah, trust me, I do. I want that in my car. I want it on my CD player. I want to hear it. Trust me, I do. I want my lossless fidelity. I do. I care about that. And I know it's getting lesser and lesser, and it seems that way, but it's just people's attitude towards it. The more you teach the generation that's their attitude towards it, the more that's going to be their attitude towards it. Why are you doing that? Records came back. Records came back. Records are fucking huge. So why can't your attitude be to bonus tracks? That's where the juicy stuff is. Stop underselling it. Stop, part of the reason that we're experiencing what we're experiencing in the bubble in this market with pop culture where everything seems woke and canceled and stuff, it's the young generation not understanding why they need to hold on to nostalgia that isn't their nostalgia. They start canceling things that don't add up with the stuff that we called nostalgia. They start calling for things to be canceled that isn't a perfect picture of what they think life's supposed to be because of what came before. It's not how it works. They need to learn how to evolve and like these things too, or not. You don't have to like the bonus tracks, but a lot of us do. So it doesn't mean you have to cancel them for the other people that like them. It just means you won't necessarily like them. Maybe you like shorter songs. Maybe you like compartmentalized shorter songs. Stuff you can dance to instead of stuff that you bob your head to. That's fine. So then you like the Radiohead, the poppy songs? Okay. If you like to bob your head, though, trust me, you like those bonus tracks and you want to hear the music. And there are a lot of people over the years that I started a stream and I played some song that they didn't know existed. They just had no idea it existed, and it revived it. This is, you know what I mean? Like this is what you do, and so just get people to hear it. I know radio is how you do that, but you can do it other ways too. I think Disturbed should play at the Super Bowl. I think it would be so stupid for the Super Bowl to pass up such a chance. Because Disturbed, people like them. People have a very high opinion of them. There's nothing, what are you going to say? You got nothing to say, man. Yeah, Disturbed's amazing. People like him. There's plenty of songs that people like too. Over the years, Stricken. Everybody knows Stricken. Everybody knows fucking Stricken. Everybody knows Down with the Sickness. Here's what they're gonna do. I guarantee you. Here's what they're gonna do. They're gonna come out and they're gonna literally start. And it's gonna rile up the crowd. And he's gonna do the and as soon as he does that, they're gonna go into some other epic fucking song like Stricken. He's gonna go and it's gonna go and everyone's gonna be like, fuck yeah! Stricken! Yeah! Fuck yeah! And then they're gonna be bobbing their heads, and they're gonna be like, this is rock and roll! Yeah! And they're not gonna be focused about anything else. They're literally just gonna be bobbing their heads listening to this music. They're not gonna care about the fucking people kneeling. They're not gonna care about the other bullshit going on, the woke bullshit. They're gonna watch that screen, and they're gonna watch that amazing bald man deliver some of the best freaking lyrics you've ever heard, and some of the best vocals you've ever heard, and you're gonna listen to some of the best guitar riffs and some of the best drumming you've ever heard in your life, and that's just what's gonna happen. And they're gonna go from song to song to song, and again, you're gonna remember all this shit because a lot of people loved Land of Confusion. A lot of people loved their fucking cover of Land of Confusion. Yeah, Disturbed is known as the band that covers songs and does it better. Shout 2000, Land of Confusion, Sound of Silence, Need I Say More? I have climbed highest mountains, I have run through the fields only to be with you. Only to be with you. They covered this. So many people don't know they covered a U2 song because you didn't go by the Asylum. Everybody just judged Asylum. They didn't fucking listen to it. That's a bonus track on Asylum. Bet you didn't know it. Yeah, go listen to it. Yeah, you're thanking me now. Go listen to the bonus tracks. Freaking... This is the point. Nobody listens to this. It's so annoying. Love that song. You have to get, halfway through the last track. I think it's a minute and a half into the last track. That's why nobody knows it's there. They think there's a last track with nothing on it. You have to get a minute and a half into the last track. It's like a minute and 36 seconds or 45 or something like that. And then it starts going, and then it goes down, down, and then he just starts going, I have climbed the highest mountains, and I have run through the fields only to be with you. Except he's better at it than I am, so. And I can feel the animal inside. My resolve is weakening. And then they're gonna go, and they're gonna go, and they're gonna do You gotta love Disturbed. Here I come, I'm dropping plates on your ass. Here I come, I'm dropping plates. It's just ridiculous. I love to think of those lyrics as just completely random lyrics that don't make any sense. Like, I obviously know it's meaning, but like, I love to think of the lyrics as completely nonsensical lyrics that make no... Like, you just, like, he's dropping plates on your ass. You know, just... I'm just, like, imagining him just dropping some plates, you know? Here I come, I'm dropping plates, and I'm dropping plates. Plates on your ass, bitch. Plates on your ass. Oh, man. Do dun 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 woo doo do dun 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 dun. Till there's nothing left. I died again inside. There for your final rise. You will be the first. You will be the last. Together we shall burn as the gallows turn to ash. running from one's fate. Do-do-do-do-do-do. As the vultures turned away one's face. Do-do-do-do-do. I died again inside. Please come down. I think I'm falling. Oh no. I have no idea what he says there. I just completely make up mumbling nonsense because I don't know what he says. I heard back when I heard nowhere, and I'm trying to escape. Something about thunder, and I'm down to one last breath, and with it let me say, hold me now. I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking maybe 6 feet ain't so far down. Just right from that to under and over it. Did you hear the one about me? Trying to die, a fist in the air, and a beacon to the sky. Do you want to know the truth? C'est la vie, adios, good riddance. You can be me, and I will be you. You can live just like a star. I'll take my sanity, you take the fame. I'm under and over it all. I'm under and over it. I'm under and over it. When passion's lost and all the trust is gone, way too far for way too long. Children crying, cast out and neglected, only in a world so cold, only in a world this cold. Hold the hand of your best friend, look into their eyes, and then watch them drift away. Some might say we've done the wrong things for way too long, for way too long. Do 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 do. Do, do. Away from the games, away from the circumstances. I was left alone in a world so cold, guilty of the same things, reveled by the cause. I was left alone in a world so cold. Oh, Jenny came out with a new song. I didn't know that. Love Hangover? Yeah, see, I haven't even seen it yet.
The love Jenny and I had made us both.
Oh, I see. So she died in the video, probably. That's pretty interesting. I'll watch that later. Always knowing on my time. Wouldn't have to sit around these things. I first realized I was tonight. So I'm looking at you through the glass. I don't know how much time has passed. All I know is know that it feels like forever. I know it never tells you that forever feels like cold. Sitting all alone inside your head. I don't know, I'm just like singing songs that I see pop up on my thing. Looking at you through the glass. Don't know how much time has passed. All there was that it feels like forever. Corey Taylor's so good. All I know is that no one ever tell. Should I sing? That Jake Gyllenhaal commercial. Does everybody keep getting that Prada commercial? I get that Prada commercial, so I mean, like, that's fine, but I get it so much. This is, you guys, I told you before, I use this. This Nautical Voyage. That's what I use. It's musky, but a little bit sweet. It's a musky sort of one, but it's like sweeter. It's a little, has a hint of sweet. It's gonna smell different on everybody though. Like your cologne smells, you know, the way it does on you, you know. So it's gonna like a lot of that's I think blood type. So like you know, I think it's blood type, and I think it has to do with a couple other factors, but you know, it's going to be different. It's going to actually smell a little bit different on different people. You have to realize that. So, if you're wondering, like, sometimes you buy a cologne or you buy a perfume and it smells different on you, like, it doesn't smell as good on me as actually. Now, the thing, and you think it tastes really good. But, like, for some reason, you can't get it to taste really good, and you don't know why, and it's like your grandma always makes this, or something like that. That's actually your brain. Now, your grandma probably is very good at cooking, let's be honest, right? Everybody has one of them, right? But the point is that, you know, your brain actually plays a trick on you with people that you trust. The food will taste better because you trust them. It will actually taste better. And it will affect your body, and your body will actually receive it better. If you're doubting the food and stuff like that, you can, it's a psychosomatic response. Some people actually like trick themselves into having like food poisoning and stuff because they think they're gonna get this or that, and they just like, their brain actually gives it. like poisons them, sort of like, oh, this is poisoning, you know. It's true. Like, there's nothing wrong with what you ate, but you think there is, so blah. And that's what your brain can play tricks like that. But you know, that's you know, that's the difference between the two. You know, like essentially, that's why it tastes better. If you're wondering that, somebody makes something and you just can't quite figure out what you're doing wrong or what you're doing different. Well, you're really not. You're probably not doing anything different. It's a psychological response to the fact that it tastes better because you like that person and they made it. That's it. That's a real thing. Did I get? Where's my remote? Oh, it's next to me. Why is my vacuum like... There we go. Sorry. I need to remember the lyrics. How it starts. Okay, let me try to just follow this. Hold on. Without music. Sorry. Hold me like a river Jordan, and I will then say to thee, you are my friend. Carry me like you were my brother, hold me like a mother, will you be there? Do 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 do. I have to, like, remember where I am in the song without hearing the music. You know what I mean? You need to hear the music. Weary, tell me, will you hold me? When wrong, will you scold me? When lost, will you find me? But they told me I was meant to be faithful, and I will not eat full and fight to the end, but I'm only human. Ah! Hoo! Hee hee. He's such beautiful music. People were so nasty to him. Music about, like, healing, literally heal the world, be kind to each other and stuff like that. It was just, like, nasty to the guy. Probably single-handedly the most selfless, nice celebrity ever. Perhaps. And, like, just everybody just destroyed the shit out of him. Just because they were weirded out by him. So messed up. And I remember now, like, obviously he's dead now. Like, that's what's unfortunate is because, like, the point is Macaulay Culkin went through some stuff too. And they obviously knew each other. So, like, the point is, like, Macaulay Culkin was, like, kind of, like, out of the limelight for a while and wanted to be private for a while, too. So while all that drama was going on, he was trying to stick up for him. But he was trying to stay out of the limelight, too, because he wasn't looking so hot. Like, he was obviously going through some stuff, too. And so, like, it just fell on deaf ears. You know, like, yeah, sure, the guy burnt through a shitload of money. And here's what you have to realize. When you are, you know, like, in the limelight and all these things are happening, people talk, people say things, yada yada yada, and it gets to people, it gets to celebrities, and you see it, and you see celebrities get I've seen women get intentional face reconstructions to look less attractive on purpose because they're sick and tired of men treating them a certain way. Or essentially, for example, Michael Jackson, who he reached a certain point where you know, like, he just decided, I think it was the was it alopecia? Is that the one? There was something that he was getting, and he, I think he was actually just going to perform with it. What was it? I forget exactly what it was that made him go through with it. It was, when you hear his side of it, it's the sort of thing where it's like, oh, that actually kind of makes sense. Like, there was a reason. He didn't just bleach his skin because he wanted to be white. It's not why. It's not why. Not at all. Again, I think he was getting, like, the blotching. You know, like, the blotching and stuff. Do you have any idea how hard it would probably be for him to maintain image and all that stuff? Yeah, he has to choose. He has to pick one. And I think what he was trying to do was to choose to be white, but be the black guy that's white, and conveniently comes out with a song where it says, it doesn't matter if you're black or white. And conveniently around that time, comes out with a song where it says, it don't matter if you're black or white. And then he got a nose job. Do you know why he got a nose job originally? A lot of people don't know. It's just like everybody thinks Ozzy bit the head off of a bat because he's crazy or something. They don't know the real story. This is the point. Nobody looks things up. They just think things of people. So Ozzy bit the head off a bat because some crazy fucking fan threw an unconscious real bat on stage. And he thought it was a Halloween bat. Yeah, like he's in the heat of the moment, concert's going. They might have had a few drinks. You know, the point is, he was, even if the few drinks or whatever, he's not going to bite the head off a real bat. The guy has some common sense, okay? He's still a person. He's not crazy. It's an image, okay? Somebody threw an unconscious bat on stage. Ozzy was then rushed off stage to have emergency rabies shots and shit. This is the stuff you don't hear. Okay? Turn that coffee. He had a nose job originally because he thought that his nose was too big for a white man. That's it. He wanted to fit in. He wanted to look the part. That's it. He just wanted to get a nose job. It kind of makes sense, actually. For his image. It kind of made sense. You know, he just needed to look a certain way, that's all. But he got addicted. That's where it started. Essentially, the people at the time that were getting people addicted to plastic surgery, he was a nice guy. That's it. People take advantage of nice guys that don't say no. So he liked to help out surgeons and stuff like that, get noticed. Oh, I worked on Michael Jackson, you know. So he got addicted, I think. I think people wanted to do another job. Oh, well, our procedures are getting better and improving all the time, so they would, like, convince him. He was addicted to spending money. And they knew that. That's it. You know, you're talking about a guy that when he grew up in the burbs, his dad, to ensue discipline, would randomly have them just pick up bricks and stack them from one side to another. Yep. You're talking about a guy whose father, Michael Jackson's father, sadistically had his kids pick up bricks from one stack to restack them to teach discipline, because if they're doing that, they're not out getting in trouble. Okay, and you wonder why he didn't play with other people, wanted to be a big kid when he gets to be an adult and stuff like that, why he gravitates towards, you know, wanting to just act like a big kid and you know, just be happy and wanting to spend money and stuff like that. You start to rationalize that's why, because he didn't have a fucking childhood. That's not a childhood. Nope. And the very second you come home, you get screamed at? No. And then if you did go out and play, dangerous neighborhoods. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty sadistic, man. And people really judged him. And nobody looked into him, they just judged him. Just like they do with everybody else. Yeah. Well, what you don't hear is that Michael Jackson had a legitimate amusement park where he was letting people go. A legitimate amusement park. I mean, the point is, it's his, so he gets to pick who goes. It's not like, I'm selling tickets. No, it's at his house. Like, he has to trust people. Duh. This is what you don't hear. And then the parents, like, just want to sue because they want money. They just want to blame. They just wanted somebody to blame for problems. That's it. Problems happen, they just want somebody to blame. And then Macaulay Culkin was the one that came out recently too, and like he was talking in an interview. Basically, he was saying like, this is what bothered me. No, this is like as if it was him speaking. This is what bothered me is like people would ask me, you know, sleeping in Michael Jackson's bedroom and stuff like that. And like what people didn't realize is you have to understand with Michael Jackson, his bedroom is like 2 stories. So, like, you say you're sleeping in Michael Jackson's bedroom, like, people are going to try to make that sound a certain way, of course. But, no, like, I'm on the top floor, he's in the main floor down there, like, we're shouting to each other, sort of, you know, like, this is what we're talking about here. We're talking about, you know, again, that's what's said. Then if you look at the actual situation, oh, he has a giant fucking bedroom with 2 stories. Oh. Okay. Yeah. So they just say something to get people to talk, and that's what people do. So, and again, this is from Macaulay Culkin recently, somewhat recently. That's where I'm getting that info from, because he actually like started talking about it a little bit. Because that's the point, is like he couldn't before. Nobody would listen, fell on deaf ears, like I said. Like, people just assumed, obviously, you know, this is what people do. They assume you're just being dishonest because you know, like, had some problems with, you know, drugs or something, like, you know, like he had some stuff he was going through too. Very obviously. So therefore he's not telling the truth? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. That literally doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all. You would think that would help his situation if he told him. No. See, now you're like, that's the point, is like, people just want to think what they want to think because they want somebody to blame for their problem. Anyway. Yeah, he was the gateway for me, for a lot of music. That's why I can listen to K-pop and respect it fully, because a lot of those guys were influenced by him too. You know, the dance moves, the genre of music, using real instruments in your songs instead of just electronic stuff. You know, like putting the effort in, hiring a band, doing it right. Yeah. And it's arguably why I've talked about Super Junior over the years, you know, like my favorite K-pop group. And that's, you know, a huge influence. Eunhyuk, the lead dancer, is very obviously mainly influenced by Michael Jackson. He was handpicked by Michael Jackson to lead the This Is It dance tour. He was supposed to. He was picked. And he turned it down specifically to stay with Super Junior. He didn't want to leave Super Junior. He actually turned down the biggest dance job in the world. That is the biggest dance job in the world. Being the lead dancer for Michael Jackson in his prime, like when he's coming back, This Is It tour. That was literally the top position. He turned it down just to be with Super Junior. Respect, man. That's respect. That's loyalty. Do you like Lana Del Rey? I'll be honest with you, haven't given it much of a chance. Should I? You want to give me something to listen to? Are you always streaming? Yeah. Usually. Good to see you, Chelsea. Good to see you both. Thanks for stopping in. You want to give me a song to try out? Suggest something? And I'll give it a listen. Favorite Michael Jackson songs? Dangerous. I love Dangerous. Almost nobody even talked about how good that was too. It's so good. That girl is so dangerous. It's so good. Take away my money, throw away my time. You can call me honey, but you're no damn good for me. This time. I loved Dangerous. Even the album, I loved it. And then they had Jam on there. Jam was literally just a dance song. It was almost no singing. It was literally just a dance too. So cool. If you were a dancer, you loved that. It had like the perfect pop to it. Yeah, if you're a dancer and you're watching, go listen to Jam from Michael Jackson. You won't regret it. If you're a dancer. I highly seriously. You'll have an endless song like that song, it's like 7 to 8 minutes, right? It's really good for you. It's a nice fast pace. He did that for dancers. He put that together specifically for you to use to practice with. I guarantee you. Like just the way the pacing is, it was to help dancers, upcoming dancers, guarantee it. Lana's version of Take Me Home Country Road is, oh, I might have heard it. Well, I will have to give it a listen. Thank you. I love listening to music, so you know, I'll always you know, like some folks think I won't listen to something, you know, because it's really oddball or off the wall, and it's like, no, actually, you'd be surprised. I might actually like it more because of that. You'd be surprised what I like. I go from BTS. I actually like BTS. There's nothing wrong with that. It just takes some balls to admit it. That's all. I go from BTS to Metallica. And it takes balls to admit that, because again, like, the guys that like metal and stuff like that, they get their panties all in a bunch usually when you like both. They're the ones that seem to have the emotional issues, like they get all upset that you like pop or something. Like, what do you care what I like, man? Okay. Messy by Lola Young. Okay. Cool. Good. Thank you. I will definitely do that. If I made music, it would be heavy. If I made music, it would be heavy. There's no hiding that. I think it's kind of obvious. I like heavy music. It's hard to say how it would evolve. But if I made music, it would be very Linkin Park sounding music. Just because that is so much the culmination of everything I listen to. Like, that's why Linkin Park, that's why, like, people should appreciate them more and what they did. Because they meshed genres. They had the balls to sit there and show you liked this and mesh the genres. Meanwhile, people were complaining they didn't know how to grade it. It shows up in the metal section in the music store, but sometimes it would show up in the rap section too. And like, this is the point. They were mixing rap and metal. And when Aerosmith did that back in the day, whew, they took some heat, man. When Aerosmith did that back in the day, they took some heat. Yeah, they were called sellouts and yada 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 just because they did some stuff with Run DMC. It's like, man, Run DMC was good, and Walk This Way, that was so cool. Love that one. Run DMC was fucking good. That is rap I respect. Run DMC is often the group, like, if somebody asks me, like, what rap do you listen to, they will be typically who I mention first, aside from, like, Eminem and stuff like that. Because Tricky was Tricky, I heard Tricky, and I just, man, it was such a bop. But I just genuinely like their songs when I listen to them. That's it. With Eminem, thing with rap, you have to realize is it has to be music. A lot of these guys that do rap, it's almost like they don't actually kind of understand music. It's almost like the part of it that they get from it is almost just lyrical, just poetry. Where they're trying to, like, kind of spit it out as fast as they can. That I don't get. There's no organized rhythmic way of articulating what you're trying to say. So essentially the rap part of your rap is now gone. Like, that's where I'm, like, do you know what a rap is? Like, the word like take the word rap, what it came from, like, to rap something, a rap. Like, think about it. Like, this is the point, is when this word originally came out, you have to, like, this is like a whole genre of music now, but think about it as the word itself, how it originated, like guys in clubs and guys that are just like, they write poetry and very slowly say it over like a bass line or something like that. They talk it, but the idea is that they're trying to talk it to the rhythm, because it's like a doom 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 doom. Let me tell you about my life. It really fucking sucks. You know, like that. Like that's the point. Like it just starts with that. Like, and then people laugh. You know, like the point is, it was a comedy thing originally. You know, like it started with like people that are just like sitting at nightclubs, drinking coffee or drinking a beer. They have an entertainment. They got a guy up there. He's trying to make some money too. What does he do? Comes in and talks about all his problems, makes it funny, does it to a bass line, and you're like, yeah, this is, yeah, hell yeah, man, that's pretty funny. Yeah, sounds good too. That's how rap got started. It's a rap. He is taking his rap that he got from life and putting it together into a poem. So like a rap sheet or something. You ever heard of a rap sheet? You know, like that's the point. It's something you say. It's a rap. You get what I'm saying? So like I think people miss the point and miss where rap started. You know, and then like the point is then we got the battles, right? Then we got like two people going at it where like, oh no, my problems are way worse than yours. And just go back and forth, right? Originally, it wasn't like who could out-rap who. It was more like who could sit there and just top which problems are worse. That it was just go back and forth. It's funnier, and then it just became battles where they're just battling, you know. And then thus rap is born. You start realizing that, like, all right, now it's music. You start doing more clever things with it, and then people were approached by a record, you know, or something like that. That's it. You know, I mean, the rest is history. So, if we lose, I see that. My favorite rapper was Fauzi. I'll have to look into that. Thanks for letting me know. I'll look into that. But you know, this is the point. Is like if we lose touch of the music at the end of the day, you've lost anybody. Anybody that is like again in it for the music, because I don't poetry, okay, yeah, that's fine, I guess. If I want to read something literary, though, I'm not gonna like listen to some guy with a bunch of problems. I'm gonna listen to a poet. You know what I mean? Like he probably has something smarter to say. So I just again I want to hear a rap. It's better. I want it to go to the music. Like that's the point. I don't want to just hear you spout as fast as you possibly can, and I can't even understand it. This is completely absurd. It's like the same guys that they think in metal. It's the same thing with pop. It's the same thing with metal. Every genre has its like bands that rip the essence of the art out of it. They do. The guys that were starting to use the triggers on the drums, where every time they hit it, people think they're fast. They think, oh, he's the fastest drummer ever. And then I have to educate them that for every single hit, he has a trigger under the drum head that's hitting it a second time. So all he has to do is literally do this, and it sounds like this. So if he actually does this, it sounds like this. You get what I'm saying? So they can start getting 30-second notes and 64ths instead. And it's just like physically, humanly impossible. And people are like, oh, he's so fast. No, it's a trigger. It's a trick. And they don't recognize what he's doing. That's why I respect the guy in Dragon Force, because he can actually do that and then still have artistic ability. That guy flips out all over the neck, does tricks and shit, and then at the same time he's fucking good. It sounds fucking good. That's good music. Like taking the tricks and stuff, but then actually doing something with it. That's what Hendrix did. That's why Hendrix was so revolutionary. It wasn't because he was super good at, like, being in time or anything. That guy was out of time all the time. Literally all the fucking time. He was one of the sloppiest, huge respect for the guy. Huge, massive respect for the guy. I'm truthfully giving him a lot of respect. I think he's a great guitarist. You know, because that's the point. His ability to control feedback and play. But I truthfully think he was pretty sloppy. He's one of the sloppier professional guitarists. I don't think he's one of the sloppiest guitarists ever or anything like that. I think he's one of the sloppier professional guitarists. But that's not a disrespect. It's just, he just has a little bit of sloppy finger work and stuff. Because, again, he was one of the first guys doing that. You're one of the first guys doing that. You're inventing it. Like, there's no standard. Now there is, so now I can be like, oh, yeah, that's compared to now, yeah, that's... But that's the point, is, like, now there's a standard. He was inventing it, basically. Or helping to, I should say. No, Hendrix often, he would lose his time a little bit, because there's just so much feedback. It wasn't his fault. It's because he couldn't hear it. But he'd always bring it back. That's why he was a professional. But again, that's the only reason I know that is because we have a standard now. That's it. There's a little fuzzy in my if I see a fuzzy in my coffee, I pull it out. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I love Hendrix. I mean, I have nothing bad to say. I'm just being truthful about, like, the technique and, like, what I deduce from seeing him play. It's just like, alright, for example, Tony Iommi. Love Tony Iommi. Grandfather guitar. Does anybody think he's super fast or super technical? No. Nobody thinks he's, like, the best technical player or anything like that. Nobody thinks that. And if you think that, you're probably not a guitar teacher, or you probably don't play guitar. Like, we don't give him that credit for that. You give him that credit because he kind of helped to invent the style. He was in Black Sabbath when people were first starting to tune their guitars down, distort things, and play dark music. And talk about real shit and make it heavier and dark, and that's amazing. He's an innovator. He's the god. He's the grandfather guitar. I fully give him that, for sure. And Black Sabbath had a unique sound that you can't replicate. Like, amazing guitar work. So yeah, I don't think he's super technical or anything like that. Like, we're not talking like, well, be perfectly honest with you, we're not talking like Randy Rhoads or anything like that. Like, okay, he was technical, and Jake E. Lee, technical too. Now Zach is too, but Zach, the funny thing is Zach can play anything, literally anything, like it's the easiest thing in the world. Yet all day long he'll write simple stuff because he wants you to learn it. Yeah, and it sounds cool too, because that's the point. It's just like the Sabbath thing I just told you guys about. Just because you can play that doesn't mean that's what you should write. Yeah. Not everybody's gonna sound like Tool or Dragon Force or progressive stuff like that, Sorry, do you use Streamlabs? Has a word filter you can use to block personal information from being typed in chat. YouTube has a filter too. Yes. It's never supposed to happen. Nightbot has a language filter that is on. YouTube. That's a language filter that is on. No, I don't use Streamlabs because I don't have it, but there are several filters that should have been working those times that it wasn't working. But I'm not here to talk about that stuff. We're not talking about that. Just a heads up. We're gonna move forward. I may put a post up, updates here and there from time to time for various reasons, but I'd like to move away from talking about it in stream as much as I can. Only when needed, only when necessary to call out certain things. But thank you for your. Thanks for mentioning that, though. I appreciate you saying something. I mean, it always helps to be reminded of things like that too. Yeah. Do you guys like my my little comedy streams? You guys like my comedy streams? I saw a lot of people were watching them. Appreciate that. I also appreciate all the new subscribers, by the way. I saw we got a bunch of new subs. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Awesome. If you sub to my channel, you're awesome. Automatically in the awesome club. Yeah, it's official. We'll stamp it and make it official. Part of the awesome club. Yeah, I appreciate that because I thought it was cool that we got support on that. Thank you. Do you know what's worth fighting for when it's not worth dying for? And does it take your breath away and you feel yourself suffocating? Yep. I appreciate it. Does the pain weigh out the pride, and you look for a place to hide? Did someone break your heart inside? You're in ruins. 21 guns. Throw up your arms into the sky. Oh, I think it's lay down your arms, give up the fire. Lay down your arms, give up the fight. 21 guns, throw up your arms into the sky. You and I. When you're at the end of the road and you've lost all sense of control and your thoughts have taken their toll and your mind breaks the spirit of your soul, your faith walks on broken glass and the hangover doesn't pass. Nothing's ever built to last. You're in ruins. 21 guns. Throw down your arms. I'm sorry, lay down your arms. Give up the fight. I keep saying the wrong words. 21 guns. Throw up your arms into the sky. You and I. Did you try to live on your own when you burned down your house and home? And did you stand too close to the fire like a liar looking for forgiveness from the start? Bloom, bloom, blue, doo, 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 doo. You say that you're down. You say that your life isn't fair. What's right and what's wrong? You've got your needs and you just don't care. On and on we drift back to where we were before. You can welcome me in. I will not walk through that door. Oh, no, no. That guy does music? Whoa. I didn't know that. That's cool. I'm gonna look that shit up. So the guy that... I guess his name is Tyler James Williams. I didn't even know... I'll be honest with you, I didn't know the actor's name. I just recognized his face from Everybody Loves Chris. Or Everybody Hates Chris. I'm sorry, Everybody Hates Chris. I love that show. That's why, like, I said that, I guess. Everybody Hates Chris. The show where, like, Chris Rock narrates a little kid where it's him. And Terry Crews is the dad. And he lives in, like, the burbs. And, like, the kid that plays him, I saw his face in a thumbnail on a YouTube music video just now. And it's from 12 years ago, but he's, like, older. He's, like, grown up. And I was like, oh, shit. And he has freaking 53 million views. It's called Me and You. It's, like, clearly him, right? Like, that's clearly him, right? It looks just like the dude. If it's not him, like, damn, he looks just like him. That's him. That's cool. Yeah, Everybody Hates Chris. Remember that? Remember the dude that played the kid? Such a funny show. I love Terry Crews, though. He was the reason I watched that show. I just, like, waited for him to show up. How much time do we got here? Dibba-dibba-doo-doo. Dibba-dibba-doo-doo. By the way, you guys know Hugh Laurie does music too, right? What's the one that I really liked? It had a music video. He's really good. He plays piano and he sings. Unchain My Heart. Unchain My Heart. You know, like House? You know, like Dr. House? That's who Hugh Laurie is. That's what I'm talking about. He does music. And it's good. Unchain My Heart. Also, if you want to hear something really funny, there's been a lot of people that Zakk Wylde has worked with over the years. Because he's just a nice guy. And he works with people and he's willing to help people out. He was contacted, I don't know how many know this, by William Shatner to do an album. And they did an album together. And Zakk Wylde did Iron Man, and I think a few others too on the album. And it's just a William Shatner album. It's literally William Shatner, like James T. Kirk. And he cannot sing. It is just bad. It is bad. But that's why it's awesome. Because that's the point of metal. It doesn't have to be good. It just has to be music. So, like, that's the point. The vocals and stuff like that, that's what a lot of folks kind of don't relate to and understand. Is, like, over the years with metal, you can kind of get away with some bad vocals and stuff because it's metal. As long as it's loud, you're good. And if it's funny, even better. Yeah, even better. So yeah, William Shatner doing Iron Man when he can't fucking sing, like, just at all. But at the same time, it's Zakk Wylde playing the guitars. Whew. So, like, it's so good because of the guitars. But then it's just William Shatner, and he's just really bad. I wouldn't even call it singing, it's just funny. It's just like talking. But yeah. Something about Major Tom. Something about, I think the album's like something Major Tom, calling him Major Tom or something like that. You know, obviously. So Zakk did Iron Man on that with him. It's just so funny. Oh, there's a new... Wait a minute. What? What? Sorry. I know it was a really weird response. I think I just saw a new Disturbed song. I Will Not Break. I will... Hold on. Is that new? I don't... That's new to me. I don't know. Hold on. And I know their songs, trust me. I will not bow. I will not break. I will shine. Ah! Ah! There's a new Disturbed song. Ah! I was just talking about that. I didn't even see it until now. Remember I was talking about their new album? Now they have a new album coming out? I didn't even know that the song was out, and I was talking about it. That's funny. Hey. I love Disturbed. I'm not even concerned. Yeah, it's gonna be great. I don't even have to guess. It's just gonna. It'll be fine. It's just like with Black Label Society. I don't have to worry. With Seven Dust, I don't have to worry. It's just gonna be good. Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah. Yeah, Disturbed comes out with an album, it's gonna be good. Black Label Society comes out, it's gonna be good. Seven Dust comes out with an album, it's gonna be good. So Killswitch Engage comes out with an album, it's gonna be good. Like there's just certain bands, like you don't have to worry about whether it's gonna be good or not. I really don't. Killswitch Engage, I'm sorry, I love you guys, but you need to learn to kind of embrace the fact that your fans are all over the place. That's it. It's literally just your fans are all over the place and divided about your two different singers. Now, they brought them together for the Signal Fire, and I think they started realizing this. Again, like, you don't need to hire both. That would be awesome. But Jesse Leach is very good. Stick to your guns. Jesse Leach is amazing. Don't let them... The fans are your fans, trust me. I fucking loved the new albums. And the one Jesse Leach did when they first came back, In Due Time, so good. All in due time. Like, so good. Start to I listened to that so much. Beyond the Flames, too, was a great song. That wasn't even on that one. That was on the follow-up album, I think. All is Beyond the Flames. Fucking love that song. Jesse Leach has an amazing ability to write uplifting, powerful, positive lyrics. So does David Draymond too at times, but Jesse Leach fits right in with Killswitch Engage's like songwriting, like just everything, in my opinion, they're supposed to sound like. Don't get me wrong, I loved Howard. But again, don't listen to what people say. It's just a change. Anytime you change and evolve, it's always gonna have an effect, and people are gonna push back. You got to remember that. Jesse Leach was the original singer. He was on the first album. The guy didn't come out of nowhere. That's what the fans don't know. That's what's crazy. This is the point. Fans become fans after like My Curse and stuff like that. Like, this is the point. They're not fans from the beginning. They're fans after, they heard it on the radio a bunch of times, and now everybody likes this. So, now we're going to be fans. No. Fans like it all, usually. They'll respect it all. And they'll respect the artist's decisions and stuff like that. So, again, Jesse Leach was phenomenal, and doesn't get enough credit. That guy's such a good singer. It's like Adam Gontier for 3 Days Grace. Alright, I don't have anything against the guy from My Darkest Days. I forget his name, I apologize. I don't know his name. It's the singer from My Darkest Days, is the singer for 3 Days Grace. He's been there for a long time. He was just from My Darkest Days. I just don't know his name. I don't have anything against him. I just liked Adam Gontier for the sound, and I thought he was extremely good, and I didn't like Apocalyptica at all. Wasn't that his band, when he, left them to start that band? I thought it was really depressing, whiny shit. I just didn't like it at all. I tried. I really tried. Breaking Benjamin barely got away with that with me. I love Breaking Benjamin, but they barely got away with... There's only so much whiny shit I can listen to when I'm listening to metal. When I'm listening to metal, I want to bob my head, and I don't want to hear you complaining about... You know what I mean? I want to get away from that. I want to escape that. I want to hear uplifting stuff or dark shit, and I want to get through this thing I'm working on. I don't need your whiny-ass bullshit to remind me of my whiny-ass bullshit. I will never understand why people want to listen to that shit. So, yeah, I love Breaking Benjamin, but I just don't, it doesn't resonate with me. The music that does is the uplift, I Will Not Bow, and, the uplifting stuff that again, resonates with me. Angels Fall with Angels Fall with Broken Wings. He just can't sing anymore. He was forcing it. He should have stopped trying to do that vocal style, or completely gave in to auto-tune or something, because I didn't really care for it that much. I'm just being honest with you. And I love Breaking Benjamin, and I love Chad Zaliga is one of my favorite modern drummers, and he was with them on an album. And that was when they were amazing. That was when they were freaking amazing. Do I like Lady Gaga? Yes. Huge respect for Lady Gaga. She's an artist. Ra 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 rama rama ma gaga ooh la la. Yeah, she's great. Deserves every bit as credit as much as Madonna, in my opinion. Just my opinion. And I was around for some of Madonna's prime work, some of her prime stuff, even. Now, obviously, I wasn't around for like a Virgin and stuff like that, but I was around for some of it. And I got to be honest, I think Lady Gaga and some of these women that came after deserve just as much credit as Madonna got. And yet she was like the queen of pop, you know. Her new song Abracadabra is good. I actually need to listen to it. I saw the thumbnail. It's like all the people like crowding around her. And I was like, oh, that's cool. It's a very typical Lady Gaga looking thing. But I didn't listen to it yet. I loved her piano thing at the Super Bowl. If I hear something beautiful, like a beautiful piece of music, I have a tendency to tear up a little bit. Zach can do this to me when he's playing guitar and he's playing something sad, and it resonates and it's like you can kind of feel it. You can feel his emotion and stuff like that. He does that to me. I will tear up just listening to him like play the farewell ballad sometimes. So yeah, Lady Gaga, when she played that piano piece at the Super Bowl, that was really moving. You know, like where everybody was there. You know, like it's about all of us like coming together and standing together and stop with the propaganda nonsense. We're all Americans, yada yada yada. You know, like that was the message. You know, in my opinion. You know, with everybody standing there. You know, Tom Brady right at the front of it. You know, I love that. Cool. I'll have to check it out. I like Maroon 5. They seem like your style of music from what you're suggesting. Maroon 5, I've been listening to since they came out. There was like a band that like as soon as they came out, I was all over that. I loved Harder to Breathe and She Will Be Loved and stuff like that. I'll tap on my window, knock on my door. I want to make you feel beautiful, yeah. I loved that stuff. I loved the beginnings. The first album, loved it. I liked the second one too. Loved it. You know, I disliked some albums over the years because they became very pop. When they started as rock. So, like, yeah, I disliked some albums over the years, but it became very much Adam Levine instead of Maroon 5. So I can understand when it's more about his vocals and he took off. I can understand them molding the music around his success. I can get that. That's a marketing thing, and you would want to do that. You would want to make sure that you're listening to the fans. Yeah, Adam Levine was one of the first, in my opinion, of this next generation of like the pop sort of genres on YouTube. Wasn't he one of the first ones to get 1 billion? I think Sugar was one of the first ones, and it's at 4 billion now. It's actually hit 4 billion now. But the video for that, what they did was they actually, in the beginning, he tells you we're going to go around to all these weddings and surprise them. And, like, they really actually did do that. Now, when you look into it, now, like, the video is them filming them, like, showing up at a wedding, and, like, they're setting up, and nobody knows that they're there. Like, the point is they're surprising them, and then the curtain comes down, they have no idea what's going to happen, and just Maroon 5 is there just playing at their wedding. And that's really cool. It was really cool for them to do that. And they really did it. It wasn't just staged. Now, it was partially an act. Because, again, they had to communicate with somebody. But it was always like a groom or like a groom's father or like somebody close to the wedding party and stuff like that, so that somebody would know that they were coming and stuff. But they tried to keep the bride and the groom from learning about it so that they could be as much of a surprise as possible. And then what they did was, for the video, so they did actually surprise them. And some of the surprises didn't exactly look, a certain way, obviously, like, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, for some of them, for the video purposes, for the sake of the music video, they went back and refilmed it and stuff like that, so they could have, like, more of a music video and stuff like that. But they really did do it. This is what you find out, is essentially they really did surprise these, they really did drive around and surprise these people. But it was planned. So yeah, as much as they surprised them, and some people didn't know, they planned it and it did it right. And again, that's so awesome. And that's where a lot of my respect comes from. Essentially, doing something really nice like that for people will always get me a lot of respect. Always win me a lot of respect for you. Yeah, I missed early 2000s culture. The culture these days is AIDS. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about earlier, is essentially, like, we lived in the golden age. That's the point. So, like, we know what it is. We're not having some leader trying to act like he's creating a golden age out of nothing. Like, that's the point. Like, we didn't need people to try to convince us of it. It just was a golden age. So we know what that is, and it was so pertinent. It's so obvious, and it's so lasting and resonant, and unifying that it seeps into the next generation. It seeps. It's so good and so strong. It seeps into the previous generation, and they learn about it. And the point is, your education is supposed to be good enough that you have the tools to create your own golden age. But these folks that are coming out now, like, they're too emotional, they're too not resourceful enough, they're too, I need to rely on this tool and this Google and this thing to tell me this, or I don't think for myself. That's what this next generation is. And like, all right, here's the analogy. I actually did this recently. I bought a headset on Amazon. It was highly rated, certain price point, very highly rated. Again, highly rated. I bought it. There's a bunch of problems with it, and it would have been really annoying to use. It was quiet. There was no adapter to plug it into my controller, into the bottom of the controller. So I would have to stand in front of my PlayStation to use it every single time, and I got to be, like, within, like, a few feet of it because the cable's only so long. And it didn't even, it just, there were some things, it was uncomfortable after a little bit. Like, it seemed comfortable at first, but then after a little bit it was like, no, it's not comfortable anymore. It was quiet. It wasn't loud enough. There's all these things. Oh, the mic was stupid. It kept smacking me in the face. It kept bending it out, kept smacking me in the face. It was just a dumb headset. And yet, user reviews, everybody thinks this is great. All these people buying this headset, yeah, it's a kitty cat headset. It's very obviously marketed to sort of kind of younger audience. And so that's the point. Like, that I wanted to buy that on purpose. I didn't buy one of the really good ones that like the adults buy, that they like, they know what they know what they're getting. They get the same, they know what's good, so they just buy that. That's the point. So I bought this, highly rated, thousands of reviews, basically 4.5 stars out of 5. Got it. It was just all these things wrong with it. So what I did in the middle of the stream, I said, I'm going to go to Walmart and I'm going to buy a Turtle Beach. Same price point. And I'll bet you it's going to be better. I even made that statement. And you know what? Turtle Beach actually surprised me. It was a really good headset. It didn't even look like much. Like, I opened it and I was like, I actually don't know about this. I was a little concerned when I saw it. Then I put it on, I was like, oh wow, it's actually pretty comfortable. Like, this doesn't look like much. Yeah, like, that's the point. It doesn't need to look all flashy. 2 volumes. 1 for mic, 1 for headset, phenomenal. It's got a power button that when, it doesn't have enough power, it sort of kind of powers down and uses a lesser version of it, I found out. So that way you still have power. It's wireless. It does come with adapters, so you can plug it in if you need to and charge it. There was all these things I was discovering that for the same headset, same price point, at Walmart, not with 4.5 star reviews on, a website where people buy things and leave user reviews. I bought one that I picked out. And yeah, it was better in every way. Loud enough. Way louder than I needed to be. So, the point was, the analogy I'm making, is I compared 2 products that very obviously this next generation would buy, and one was terrible. I would have rated it like maybe 2 stars. Maybe 3 is too generous. But 4.5? No. You gotta tell them what's wrong with their product, man. That was awful. And thousands of reviews think this is great. Thousands. People don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So my point is, that's just education. Like, when you start talking about things as simple as it ain't loud enough, the cable has to be plugged in, it doesn't come with an adapter, I gotta stand in front of the TV. What is this, the 90s? No. It should go right into my fucking controller, because that's the way the PS5 works. Everybody knows that. You plug it into your controller. Like, everybody knows this. What the hell? And so, like, just basic things were wrong with it. And again, it said PS5 ready. It said it was for the PS5. And it even says it on the box when I get it. When I order it, it gets here, it says PS5 on it. It's like PC, Xbox, and PS5 compatible. So, the point is, the next generation was not given the tools to be able to deduce things in real life and figure out what they need out of a product and be consumers. They don't know. So how the fuck... Yeah, I mean, like, so, like, that's the point. We're talking about how 2000s culture was the way it was. That's why. Because we knew what was good and what was bad. This generation doesn't know how to do that. And I'll be honest with you, my generation didn't know how to do it very well either. So, it started partially with my generation. I'll be honest. I would go into school, and there would be all these people... Yeah, I know. I've seen that. I would go into school, and I would try to talk to all these people and convince them to like the Matrix movies. Everybody hated the Matrix movies. And everybody's trying to pretend now that they love them. People hated Keanu Reeves. They're trying to pretend like they didn't. My generation literally hated Keanu Reeves. And I went into school. I took his book into school with me. I actually did that. I was pissed that people were doing this because I read his book. This is before, like, the internet was a thing and people were in love with him. People used to shit on him. He didn't get jobs. People hated him. It was stupid as shit. And I literally got this book of Keanu Reeves that I was reading through, and it was the one where he's on, like, the Matrix bike on the front. And like it's talking about his life and everything he had to deal with. You know, he went through like the death of his sister and stuff like that, and just everything he had to deal with and all that. And how much of a nice person he is and stuff like that, and just reading all this stuff, and I just like this is horrible. And this guy can't catch a break. Now his movies are tanking, and all my friends at school aren't helping. So I would like take the book in and it was like, well, actually, he's a nice guy, and like literally try to convince them of these things, and they're just like, no. So it started with my generation. It started with like essentially like them just deciding these things were bad, and I would call them out, and they just wouldn't have an answer. Oh, it's just bad. You know, like kind of like with the voting and stuff like that. They don't really have an answer. It's this way. It's fake news. It's this way. But why? Just is. But what's fake about it? Well, that didn't happen. Yes, it did. So like it's like the people again, like they would sit there and try to like talk to me about what they didn't like about the Matrix movies. Well, it's just boring. Why was it boring? Well, it took so long to fell asleep, yada yada. Well, what part did you fall asleep? Why'd you fall asleep? You know, well, there's so much dialogue. Yeah, again, there's a big story, lots going on, shitloads of characters, huge, giant universe. Yeah, kind of makes sense. It's a big war about to happen. Some diplomacy going on here. Everybody agrees on how to handle things. There's going to be a lot of fucking dialogue. Yeah, you better pay attention, and that shit better be interesting, and it was. It's just that's the point. Nobody paid attention. They expected the first movie 3 times. And then, again, 10 years later, they all just come to the same fucking conclusion I did. After they graduate high school, they're like, these movies aren't that bad. Because the point is, they have a much more different scope on it. After they graduate, they're mature a little bit more now. They go out with, their people, they get a little bit happier and stuff like that. Now they rewatch it and they realize, it's kind of being a little judgmental, wasn't I? Like, they see the thing again and they don't fall asleep. They see all the scenes that I was talking about and they're like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, this is what I saw where even my generation, it was like a little bit of pushback. Actually, it was quite a bit. And then later they just realized it. That's what we're experiencing here. It's again, except it's way worse because you have more people. You have so many people in this generation. There's way more Gen Zers, I think, right? It's an exponential growth of population, of a populace. So when you have that, you're going to have those problems multiply exponentially. That's the issue. And then education needs to get ahead of it, not the other way around. Education is getting behind. You need to get ahead. So this is what's happening, is they don't know how to do these things. Even like in my school, we taught, we had an economics class, and some of the parents actually had a problem with it. Isn't that fucked up? Yeah, imagine parents having a problem with an economics class, teaching kids about economics. Fucking stupid. Yeah, like actually having a problem with that. Yes, let's give the next generation the tools they need to succeed. Talk about economics and teach them what GDP means and stuff like that. Nah, terrible idea. What the fuck is wrong with you? Of course that's a great idea. Yeah, they're going to be running the country soon. You're so stupid for not doing that. So this is my point, is like, I had this, and then like, even in my generation, it was very limited who was allowed to take that class, and even they didn't understand it. And the ones that did, the very few ones that did, would start asking questions about certain politicians, because that was the point. They started realizing certain things. So they'd ask questions, and then conveniently the teacher would go, sorry, I can't answer that. We can't talk about politics in class. I can't have an opinion on that. Sorry. And you start realizing why they don't teach it. Just because of politics. Just because that's a taboo, off-topic discussion, politics in school. What the fuck? You start to recognize the problem. people aren't teaching politics. You can teach that, you know. Imagine trying to convince the world that you can't learn politics, that you can't learn political science. Imagine trying to like brainwash the entire world into thinking that you can't learn about governments, politics, democracies, oligarchies, socialisms. Just the fact that you could not, think that you could just not learn what all these things mean and how it all works. No, you can. That's the point. That's how I just implicitly know when somebody's lying. Yeah, because, there's oftentimes he just makes something up, and I know he can't do that thing. So I know it's a lie, or didn't do that thing, because, again, I'm informed. So just dismiss it. No, it's not. He's just fucking saying some shit. That's why I know. Well, how do you know? It was fake news. How do you know? How do you know he's not? Dirt. Well, because I'm informed. This is why the Democrats. That's why we align with Democrats. You understand that? That's why a lot of people are aligning with Democrats. Because Democrats are people, typically, these guys have been in government for a while. They just know how to do it. They've just been doing it for a while. They're experienced. That's it. They're guys that actually went to law school. You guys know that, senators and people in government went to law school. Meanwhile, you're sitting here pretending like you know anything about politics and policies and stuff like that. And that's the point. These guys actually went to school for it. So, this is kind of my point. Everybody treats politicians like they're idiots. Yet, they elect somebody that's not even a politician and expect them to know everything the politicians. I get it. He's not a moron. My point is that you all are, and he's going to take advantage of that. You don't know anything about politics. He actually does know some about politics. And he just very obviously spins things a certain way and lies. Remember the other day when he was like, "Thank you for telling me that. I didn't know that." And it was very obvious he knew that what he was saying was a lie, and he was just sort of saying things, and he kind of just says things like that. That's what you have to rationalize. The moment he responded that way, you have to realize, oh, so he does talk like this to dumb things down and misinform. Oh. So in good faith, he's not misinformed. Oh, so he's misleading people on purpose and saying things wrong on purpose. Oh. Okay. What you have to rationalize is the Democrats will have a White House where they hire somebody that just informs you. They're just telling you things they're doing. This is the most transparent a president's ever been. No, it's not. That's the point. She literally just comes out there and prepares a statement that lies to you. And then the reporter asks her about it, and then she lies again, and then holds up a receipt. What the fuck? Okay, I can print out a little thing on my computer too and hold it up too. Yeah, that's the point. People thought that he was being transparent by signing executive orders in front of them and answering questions. What does that mean? How does that... What? Most transparent? No, it's staged. That means it's not transparent. He's trying to get you to think it's transparency. Why wouldn't he just do what he normally does and then report it to you so you can look it up yourself? Why is he staging a fucking media thing? Because you love drama. Yeah, and you love to jump all over the... most transparent, yada yada. It's not. It's a trick. If he's being transparent, he'd just be transparent. This is what we're doing. Well, look it up. I reported it. Here's the website. We don't need a fucking media thing. I'd waste time. That's a huge waste of time and resources. All those people... Huge fucking waste of time and resources. What the fuck's he doing? He's the president of the United States. He's sitting there fucking explaining things to morons? He doesn't need to explain anything to you. It's a fucking waste of time. And again, it's staged. It's just to fool you some more. He doesn't... I've said this before. I know you guys don't like when I get political. I don't really care because I think it's informing and I think people need to be informed. what you have to realize about this guy is he's not really doing anything. He just wants that position. So he constantly like stages these things to make it seem like he's doing things so that he can undo them later. Does that make sense? He causes a problem so he can fix it. I've said this before. And I've also said that he doesn't do anything. It's true. So he has to make it seem like he is. Why is Elon Musk gutting entire federal agencies? Who the fuck is Elon Musk? Oh, that's right. He's some rich guy. Oh, that's right. That's who this president typically hires. Rich people that then do a bunch of illegal stuff while they're employed for the government and end up in jail anyway, which is like his entire first term, his whole cabinet. Like, this is the point. Yeah, because the point is, like, he does a bunch of stuff that's technically illegal, and then they get burned for it. That's what you have to realize. Like, he's just doing stuff that he's not supposed to be doing, and then, like, the person that did it, because, again, the president often doesn't do these things. He just tells people to do them. And often what he tells people to do is not legal things he's not supposed to do. So they get burned for it. It's literally, just look it up, man. Like, that's his entire time in office the first time. That's what happened. He just kept trying to do all these things and telling people to do all these things that weren't legal. They weren't allowed to do them. And they would try to do them anyway and go around what the legality of it is and end up in jail or prosecuted for it or something like that. And, well, yeah, I was ordered to do it. That's what you have to realize. And, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different when you're talking about, like, being wrong about, like, just basic things that you don't do. Like, why would you sign a bunch of executive orders that defund the Environmental Protection Agency? Like, why would you do that? I'm genuinely asking. That's a genuine question to anybody that would vote that way. Like, that's kind of the point, is, like, that's kind of like the stuff that he spent time doing. He just, like, signed a bunch of executive orders that defunded things that were beneficial. And I don't really appreciate that. It's kind of what he's doing now too. So it's just the same. Again, I'm not trying to get political, but, like, what you have to realize is it's that simple. I'm just, like, making a very simple statement that's the truth of the fact. Pretty much none of those executive orders that I can see do any good for anybody. What good comes out of... Tell me how it's good to cause a trade war. To essentially just randomly force a bunch of tariffs on imports. And also, remember, imports already have tariffs. He's already imposed tariffs. Biden continued the tariffs. And so they're already in place, so why impose new ones? Why charge them even more? Don't you think that's ripping them off? And us? Yeah, it's not like getting us more money. In the long run, all that's going to do, again, the point is, Canada responded with their own 25% tariffs. That's all they did. So 25% for 25%. It's just a stalemate. This is what you have to realize. So, like, anytime, like, he says, which we're winning, by the way, and he feels the need to say that, you have to rationalize where he's coming from. He's trying to justify something. He's trying to convince you of something. He's the president of the United States. He should just be doing things instead of trying to convince you he's doing them. Why is he trying to convince you of something? I've never heard somebody with demands the most respect in the world sit there and convince people. Just sit there and try all day long to convince people so much of things. That, again, that guy spends so much time just doing really basic, trying to convince people of things. And like, it's very obvious to me that, it's an act. It's just a TV show to him. He doesn't seem to really care about education, or I would love to know what he's doing with education. Except he's making it worse. Yeah, apparently Elon Musk is gutting the education department, which means we will have segregated schooling. Like, essentially defunding our education system means there's no public schools. How are your kids going to get educated? You know that that's illegal, right? You know that you have to send your kids to school by law. He's not getting rid of that. Yeah, so like you have to send your kids to school by law, right? Not getting rid of that, right? Yeah, so your kids are going to have no education. They're going to be with kids that, well, like, have knives and weapons and stuff like that. No jack shit. They're pieces of garbage that like, unfortunately, they shouldn't be pieces of garbage. They should be nice people. But they grew up being taught by pieces of garbage, and now they're going to be pieces of garbage until somebody shows them they're pieces of garbage. You're being a garbage human being, and essentially just, corrects that. But that won't. There's no... With no resources, with little to no resources, how can you correct things? How can you properly hire... You have the resources to do that. You can't. It falls on the backs of us. So it further segregates the middle class. And you're going to be paying out the ass for your kids to go to a better school. Which is what Bernie Sanders is warning you all about. Has been warning you all about. And nobody seems to fucking give a shit what Bernie has to say anymore. Even though, again, he's just been warning all of you since the beginning of frickin' time. And you're not listening. If he's saying it, you can just take it for truth. That guy's really smart. He's really smart. He's probably the sharpest old person alive. He's pretty old, too. Yeah, he might be the sharpest old person alive. He's all there. It's kind of amazing. Because, like, at that age, usually, it's kind of funny. Like, he doesn't even seem to... Like, yeah, like, he's not, like, physically fit or anything. He never was. But it's not like he looks, like, decrepit or anything. You know what I mean? Like, he does okay. Yeah. So that's cool. It's cool that we still have Bernie, but John McCain too was another good one. And he was actually a Republican. And yeah, I miss him. What was his name? Paul Ryan? Was his name Paul Ryan? Yeah, he retired too because of a certain person in office that he didn't like. There's a lot of politicians and stuff that would have been successful and probably would have done great things that left because of this guy. That's not good. We talk politics, we have the same one concurrent in here the entire friggin' time. It's funny. I'm gonna drink a little Mountain Dew after my coffee. It's okay. I understand. I do understand. I appreciate it. Oh. Are you still in the chat, Chelsea? Somebody has been... if it's not you... If you're not in here... as that one concurrent that's in here, okay, you're still here. That's good. Your last message, they're trying to block from me. They're trying to get me not to see. You know how we've had that issue where they're trying to like block messages and trying to get me not to see them. I actually can't see your last message, and then when I looked over, I happened to notice that you had sent something. Did you say something about Candace Owens? I can see that from over here, but it's not in this chat. So, like, perfect example of a time where there's nothing. I'll show you if you want. You'll see it. Oh, I guess you can't. It doesn't matter. Never mind. It doesn't matter. That won't show you anything. Yeah, I can't show you this screen. So, showing you that one won't really do anything. I'll just show you the message. It's not on this screen for some reason. So, that's a perfect example. I know when you were in the stream the one day, after I had started talking about the guy that was doing what he was doing and stuff. Okay, we're not talking about it. But after I started talking about it, they hid chat from me. So, like, I'm sure you could see it, but just so that you know, if that one day when you were in here and, like, I just stopped talking to you guys and stopped responding, that's why that happened, because I didn't see chat. I'm sure that you probably wondered, too. So I sometimes, like, I'll take a slight break, I'll go up, get a drink, go to the bathroom or something. If I'm on a stream for, like, hours and stuff, I happen to get up, and I went to the bathroom, and I checked chat really quick on a different device, and I saw so many chats, obviously from that person, from 365, and from you, that were not showing up over there, because again, they were trying to block it from my view. So conveniently today, the chat that I'm looking at today, right in front of me, it's blocked from there, but showing up over there. And it's reversed conveniently when I'm over there, looking at my fucking stream on my PC, and then I gotta confirm it on here. So why is it reversing, YouTube? If you're not doing it on fucking purpose, why is it reversing? If you're not doing it on purpose, YouTube, yeah, why is it reversing where it's not showing up in the chat? Well, because you're doing it on purpose. You're trying to make people think that I just ignore messages and stuff like that. That's what you're trying to do. This is what they've always done. Yeah, they'll like hide chat and stuff like that. So I don't see messages. They've always done this. It's not the top chat. It's not. It's not. It's not the top chat live filter. It's not. It's not that. So when you're streaming on Prism, you don't have that. Did you know that? There's no option for that on Prism. It's just you have it or you don't. And so But that's kind of my point, is it flip-flops. The other day, like I said, it had disappeared off that screen. It wasn't on top chat. You know what I'm saying? Like the day that I was talking about where it did that, I didn't have my browser on top chat. Like the point is I can easily see that. And yeah. I think that's the point, is like they just hid chat at a certain point. The point is, I would say it timed out, except all the other numbers were updating, like concurrence and likes and stuff like that. So, you know what I mean? So they just did that on purpose. It's so stupid. And as you can see, as soon as I was talking politics and kept talking it, you're the only one in here. They're blocking, they're literally capping the concurrence. Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, there's not suddenly just one concurrent in here just because politics, you know? No. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, and then as soon as I say that, see the second concurrent? As soon as I said that, you see the second concurrent? Like, that's the point. Like, as soon as I start to, like, confirm it's happening, they just adjust. Oh, okay, send him another concurrent, so he stops talking about that, so you can just prove he's wrong. Kind of like when they cap, when I point out that they're capping concurrence. I literally point it out. It's just obvious they're doing it. 2 hours go by, shitloads of people coming in, and yet for some reason, it never gets above 4. It just stops right there. You know, like, it's not like spiking up to like 7 or 8 or like 5 even. It's just 4. You're capping concurrence. Like 2 hours and it's just like 4. And like it's like this too. It's like, yeah, okay. You're capping concurrence. It's ridiculous. So, that's what they're doing. And then as soon as I talk about it, they'll like increase it by 1. So if I see it's at 4, they'll be like, oh, here's a 5th one. And then it'll just be like there for a while. It doesn't just... Yeah, they're just capping my traffic. Just capping it. It's pretty sad. Because capping traffic means that, like, essentially you're causing a situation where you're controlling how much the person would grow. It wouldn't naturally trend or grow, and just control how much that happens. Pyramid scheme. I mean, I've talked about that before, but... Yeah, because it means, like, essentially you have to invest X amount of money to get here. And then maybe if you do that, you still end up at the bottom because, again, it's just a chance. Maybe they won't like you. That's the point. Because, like, that's the point. Like, when they just make shit up. It's like when you're younger, right? And you're playing with that friend, right? And, like, you have a game that you're playing with your friend. And then, like, your friend just starts making up rules. Like, you know that's not how the game goes. And they lost. So now they're making up rules as they go along so that way they can win the game. That's what YouTube does. This is literally what YouTube does. They just fucking start doing shit as they go along so that way I don't ever grow. And capping concurrence and stuff. Capping channel traffic. Removing views after streams. We're live for several days goes by, and then a stream after like 3 days, like 3 days ago, we streamed the stream, and it now has less views than when we finished the stream 3 days ago. That's a scam. You're just removing too many views. You're just like sitting here trying to fucking remove views and convince people that you know this stream only had this many views. No, you're just, and it's like a lot too. It's a lot of my videos. It's a lot. We after the stream too. So like that last one we did, where the stream was the first one we did where like with the falling over, the funny one we just did, not this one, but the first one I did. As soon as that finished, I knew they were going to cap it because it got too many views. And so now that it's done, what they did is they capped the view count. It's not going to gain anymore. And if I tell you that, all they're going to do is put a set amount at which it's going to slowly gain a little bit more to make me wrong, essentially. That's all that YouTube's going to do. It won't just normally continue to trend and gain views like it should. Like, that's the point. YouTube puts restrictions on my channel traffic. And that's how you know it's a fucking scam. Am I married, like 365, or single? I mean, I'm single, but I wouldn't say that like I'm like looking or anything like that either. So, but yeah, I'm not married. I'm not in a relationship or anything either. So yeah. But again, I wouldn't. It's not like I'm single looking, but yeah, technically I am not married. I just don't believe in that stuff. Like, if you're meant to be with somebody, you're meant to be with somebody. So many people force relationships and need companionship and stuff. Like, I feel that too, but you aren't standing on your own 2 feet as a person if you don't learn how to person yourself. How long have you been single? What kind of question is that? Look, where's this going? A while. I'd say over a year. I'd say over a year. I just think that, like, people seek this, they seek this too much. Like, they don't get life because they seek things. And instead of, like, kind of, like, doing life. You know what I mean? Relationships can be exhausting. They can be, but, like, that's kind of my point. Is, like, too many people seek that. If you're in a relationship with somebody, like, I feel like you already established, like, alright, so for example, like, my last relationship, part of the reason we felt so comfortable with doing that and moving forward with that was because we're friends. And we had spent so much time, like, sitting around, playing video games, hanging out, liking the same music, liking the same things. Eventually, it was just like, yeah, we're in love with each other, aren't we? Okay. You know, like that's how it should be. It shouldn't be like, let's go on a date. Let's expect things. Yeah, it's so stupid. Because then you have expectations, there's all these things you have to do. You ruin it. You ruin the whole thing. You ruin it. There's no relationship there. You just went through motions. That things that fucking Hallmark tells you you're supposed to do and shit like that. There's no relationship there. You're supposed to run into somebody. You know? You're supposed to be somebody's friend or be somebody's better half or help them, or, you know, like essentially that's the point. Like, you help each other and you just both start becoming one. That's how it happens. Like, I don't know, again, like, you're forcing it if you're dating, you're going on a fucking Plenty of Fish or whatever, like, that stuff, you're missing the point. And even more so, the people of this generation that don't understand that it's not cool to have sex. That's not cool. No, abstinence is cool. And people think might think that's stupid. No, I actually think that's really smart. Abstinence is really smart. You are confused and your brain doesn't work properly under sex drive. It does not. You will be misled. You should never, ever, ever, ever base a relationship on that. So why, again, are so many people, first date, even third date, they just expect it? Stupid. Stupid. Be in a relationship first. Yeah, be with the person for like months and months and months. Work up to it. Fall for them. Make love, not sex. Because once that happens, you'll figure out you didn't like the person, you were attracted to them. Two different things. Somebody can be very attractive and you want to... Plenty of people have dealt with this. But you got to deal with that. And then you spend time, years, you have kids. No. Stop this. This is the problem. Nobody lifes. They just have kids. Nobody even does life anymore. They just have kids because they had sex with somebody. This is the next generation. That's you didn't even do life. You barely fucking graduated high school and you just started having sex. Oops. You start to kind of like piece together the problems. You know, like they didn't even go to college yet. And they're lucky if their high school was even half a decent education. That sounds like some shit Howard Stern talks about. That's funny. I mean, that's whatever. Whatever makes her happy, I guess, but just not... My personal opinion... Like, obviously, you are free to do whatever the fuck you want with your life. Whatever, I don't care. You know, great. Good story, you tell everybody, whatever. I don't care. But my opinion, you want my opinion, and I would highly recommend it. Don't leave with sex. You know, have the expectation for the other person to never expect that. Do that. That is very smart. Have the expectation for that person to never expect you to have sex with them. Tell them, no, not until a relationship. Don't ever expect that because I won't do it. We must be in a relationship. Because then, suddenly you have to work on things together. Suddenly you have to get to know each other. And suddenly, that person that just wants a lay, they might not do that anymore. You start to kind of like realize, and you can figure them out a little bit and develop a relationship. And you know, if they're willing to respect that, they're a good person. Probably. Oh God. See, my thing about that is she using protection? See, my thing about that is, like, do whatever you want, whatever makes you happy in life, fine, whatever. I mean, obviously I have my values and stuff like that, but I also fully believe in free will and you know, whatever makes somebody happy. But again, if she's not using protection, okay, yeah, that could cause problems for the pregnancy then too. She's not using, and it's just random guys too, not people she knows. Yeah, that is a really stupid decision. I agree. Because, like, sex during pregnancy isn't a bad thing. But, like, we're talking, like, baby daddy, you know, not like, just random fucking people. Yeah, like, because that's his DNA in there. You don't, you know what I mean? Like, that's the point. Like, you get what I'm saying? That can cause problems. You don't want to do that. And it's just drama. I will never understand that. Yeah. That's a shame. That's a shame. What are you gonna do, you know? It's a shame, but hopefully she can just get herself out of that situation at some point. Like, whatever reason she needs to do that. Like, clearly there's a reason she feels that she needs to do that, I guess, but it seems weird to me. I saw your message, Rob. I just can't answer it yet. I can't answer things when I'm streaming. If you're watching, let me see what you said. Hold on, if you're watching, oh yeah, it sucks. I'm just trying not to talk about it anymore. But yeah, it's pretty terrible. Sure. It's a shame that a certain other person didn't help, even though he could. But yeah, it's a pretty terrible situation. The person I'm talking about is like a mutual friend of ours. Like, the person I'm talking to knows basically kind of what I'm saying a little bit. That somebody could have helped, and it's sort of kind of been abhorrently absent during this time for some reason, knowing he could do something about this. Some of these OF creators push things too far. Yeah. I'll be honest, I don't know much about them. What do you mean by OF? I don't even know what that means. What's OF? I didn't know. I don't think I've seen that used in that context before you just used it, so. OF. I'm trying to think of what that would be. Oh. No, figures. I should have. Yeah, I should have. Now I know why you didn't type it. Now I know why you didn't type it. I see the 0 too. Yeah, sorry. It's my bad for being stupid. Here, I'll remove that for you, so that way you don't have to type it. It's not like I'm mad or anything. Like, I removed it for you so that way you don't have to feel a certain way about typing it or anything. That was my bad for not even realizing that's what that was. I guess I should have realized that's what that meant. Yeah, I mean, with stuff like that, yeah, so with stuff like that, you have to realize that, like, I know it's gonna sound like I'm sticking up for them, but I'm not. I'm gonna tell you the reasonable, rational reason for it, and why there's probably so many of them. And OF probably knows this too, and social media experts and stuff probably do too. But what I think some folks don't consider and don't think about with situations like that is that a lot of times I think these women are strippers. You know, like, they work the clubs and they already sort of kind of do these things. So to them, they don't care. They've been doing it for a long time. They get money off of it, and now they're doing it to regularly get paid a little bit more fairly, actually. So to them, actually, if anything, it seems better than being in a club with a bunch of guys in real person in front of you that you got to worry about, lining up later for your private room session and stuff like that. That's a little bit more dangerous. So while I understand that from the other scope and the other perspective that we're all looking at it from, it seems bad and dangerous, but realize the alternative is them doing it for real, that they probably would go to the strip club and do it for real. And, like, that's the point. You have to rationalize. That's that type of thinking. Yeah, I'd rather know that they're being safe and selective about it than just a club. You get what you get. Yeah. Yep. Hands down. Any doctor would probably agree. If they're gonna do that, at least safe and selective. Yeah. No, this is ridiculous. I'll be honest with you. I feel like it's a little bit of a lie too. You just don't have time. 1,000 is just too much. You wouldn't have to. How would you have time in the day? Start thinking about how much time that would actually take. Even, like, all right, so, like, let's say like I was just meeting. Let's say I was just, like, meeting somebody, right? And I was just, like, meeting 1,000 people. How long do you think that would take? Just shaking hands with 1,000 people. Even just that act. Hi, I'm Sifu. It's really nice to meet you. Hi, I'm Sifu. It's really nice to meet you. Hi, I'm Sifu. It's really nice to meet you. Even just that. That was 3. It took 10, 15 seconds, right? 3 people. Now calculate for 1,000. And then, like, again, there's only 24 hours in the day. She's going through 1,000. Even 100, I think, would be difficult. Each got, like, 30 seconds or so. Yeah, like, that's ridiculous. I think it's a lie. I think it's fabricated. I think it's to boast about how many men that she does. And it's fake. And I think people believe it. Because it's outrageous. It's clickbaitable. I think it's fake. I think she does like 100. You know, it's like the person that says they did 1,000 push-ups every day. It's like that guy. The guy that says he does 1,000 push-ups every day. Nobody does that. I was a martial arts instructor. I know how hard it is to do push-ups, and I've seen people struggle with 5. I used to make them do 20 all the time. Yeah, my classes, we didn't do 10, we did 20. We did sets of 20, usually. And, trust me, people were, like, wobbling and shaking after, like, 10. That's the fucking point. Make them struggle. Try to get to 20. You know, if they muscle through it, barely get back up, they tried. The point is they get a little better each time. You ain't doing 1,000. Nobody's doing that. You're lying. You're full of shit. And this is the that's why I start calling these people that claim to be martial artists and stuff like that. They're like, I do these push-ups every day and stuff. I know you're full of shit when you tell me that, because the biggest liar and brag and scam artist on the planet is the guy that tells you right up in front and center he does all these push-ups and stuff like that. Why the fuck do you need to brag about push-ups? I have never in my life heard somebody that does push-ups actually brag about it. Never. Never once. Never a single fucking time. And that's kind of the point, is like, you have to start rationalizing. She's doing 1,000 guys. There wouldn't be enough time if she was really doing it. I don't know that she'd be actually that proud of it. It would be the sort of thing where 1,000 different men, like, it would just cause health problems. It really would. It's just knowing enough about the skin and how it works and health. I just, truthfully, again, I think it's too much, and I think any doctor would agree it sounds like a scam where she's making this number up. 1,000 guys doesn't add up. Like, I just... She would, like, have, like, TSS or something, like, just, and die, or, like, truthfully. Like there's these really rare, weird symptoms, like, something would just happen. Usually, sepsis or something. You know what sepsis is? Like people just don't know what they're looking at. That's all, and that's okay. Like, I don't expect you to, but I have a lot of medical knowledge up here. Groups of 5. Okay, well, maybe then. But even then, if groups of 5 and you still have enough time to do it, it's still the sort of thing where I still think she'd get, like, TSS or sepsis or something. And you know what TSS is. I think it's a possibility you could still get this, technically speaking, in another way, as long as the environment is correct for it. Because TSS is just a syndrome that happens because of a certain environmental factors from those tampons, right? Like, that's the point. You could arguably just recreate this syndrome with the same... You know what I mean? Like constituent with something else. If you did too much of something else. Because that's the point. Like, too many tampons, too many old ones, too much of this causes this really weird... You know, it's like a defect. It's how medical works. It's how your DNA functions. It's why life is what it is. It's why we need everything in moderation. Our DNA is like that. So, like, too much of any one thing is toxic and poisonous. Period. End of discussion. It's everything. It is literally the essence of DNA itself. So it just breaks down the DNA. It just breaks down you. And you just get these really rare, weird things. That's what it's the most basic way to explain it. You know, like where you just break down the cellular structure. You know, like where somebody gets sepsis or something like that. Their body is so toxified. Like they live in like a fucking pigsty or something like that. They sitting in shit or something like that. The point is, like, whatever they're doing, it got bad. So doing too many, like 1,000. You get what I'm saying? Like, something. I just think, you know what I mean? Like, how long has she been doing it? me a sec. I want to. So anyway. Yeah, well, all right, yeah, like I get that. I'm just saying, like, I think, like, I just think it's staged. That's all I'm saying. I just think it's staged. I don't think it's real. I feel like the number is a lot less. Or, you know, it could even be completely staged actors. You know what I mean? But, you know, I don't know. That's how I feel. But I mean, like, again, it's possible, I guess, you never know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sitting here saying I know everything or anything like that. So, like, obviously, I'm still saying there's a possibility. It's just sitting here and thinking about and deducing the logic of that in reasonable sense that this woman is actually doing that many times, every stream. It's not something I'm inclined to necessarily believe, but you know, it's possible, like I said. But yeah, I agree with you. It has to be staged. I don't know. That's where my mind typically goes with stuff like that, where somebody's just exaggerate. It's like sort of exaggeratory. It's kind of like, you know, who was the YouTuber? I forget his name. Do you remember we're talking about like the beginnings of YouTube here. There was a really famous YouTuber that, what he used to do? He would just rage out for no fucking reason whatsoever, and then just like punch his bed, like flip out and shit like that, and then just like storm out. What was his name? But like, I think he like, what was his niche though? I forget what the niche was, but like it was that the idea was that like people thought it was real. Like the point was that like he was so good at it, they thought it was real, and so many people were like, "Oh, this is unhinged, it's crazy," you know, a lot of yada yada, and everybody was saying anything. But that's the whole point. He was going viral because people believed it, not because, you know what I mean? Like they actually were convinced. So this is like the new trend. Well, not even a new trend. Like that's the point. That goes back. It's not a new trend. That's the point, is to use something to trick somebody to think it's real and stuff like that. But it's cleverly staged. It's an act. It's, you get as real as possible. So yeah, I mean, he, you know, there's lots of YouTubers that do this, and just regularly run channels off of staged things. So, I mean, you know, it just, again, could be all staged paid actors. I don't know. I mean, like, how much can you even see on OnlyFans? You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know how much you can even see on there. I don't use it or go on there. So like the point is like if they can't show it, you're not confirming. You know what I mean? Like they're showing, like you're hearing sounds or showing part of it or something. Yeah, it's staged, but good. You know, that's good, because then she's not doing those things. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. And that this is what people don't realize is and that's kind of why I want to go that way, and like I actually think it's good that I made a couple of videos the way I just did with the prank and the falling over and stuff, because I want to show people what a prank is actually supposed to be. It's supposed to be something that momentarily is funny, that again doesn't harm people. It might trick them momentarily, briefly, for a second, but it's harmless. It's supposed to be funny. It doesn't embarrass the person or anything like that. It's just funny. That's a prank. People don't know how to do that anymore. They don't know how to take like the humor and be funny about it. Like they have to be really personal and insulting these days, and I just don't get that. So you know, you don't have to sit here and actually go out in public and, you know, like that's not a prank. Screwing with people in public's not a prank. A prank is, you know, like your buddy gets up and you quick put a whoopee cushion under his pillow, so when he sits down, he sounds like he farted. That's a prank. That's like the most basic one I can think of. That's the point. It's harmless. And you can kind of joke, "No, you farted, haha," and he just pulls the whoopee cushion out. You mean this? You know, it's not. It's harmless. Who cares? He just proved that it wasn't him. It was funny. I would have thought that shit was fucking hilarious. So, the point is that people don't know how to laugh at something. They just don't. They want it to be personal. They want it to be insulting. And I think those people are the people that are, you know, like that's kind of the point, is they idolize a certain person that's personally insulting to many people and stuff like that. And that's kind of the reason they think that way. Yeah, they don't idolize and look at people correctly. This is why the Bible teaches you guys not to idolize people. That's why you're not supposed to do that. Because people are imperfect. And you will adapt their imperfections and idolize that. And think it's how you're supposed to be. So, that's a real problem. With this, you know, like, culture that thinks everything's woke and thinks wokeness is the problem. You know, they're just labeling it as that because they don't see it your way. They just think that you want to push some sort of agenda, him, her, you know, stuff on them that they have to cringe about or something like that. It's not about that. But again, they make it that way. That's a narrative. You don't have to do that. You can just not make it that way. You can not put your prejudice on other people. You could do that. You can be not based. The point is, it's not everybody is like that. That's the point. And everybody is treating everybody as if they are, as if they can compartmentalize them. And you can't. It's not how people think. It's not how they act. It's not how they are. Except the people doing it. That's why they're doing it. That's what you have to realize. They're doing it because they are like that. They're not cultured. they don't look outside the box, and these are the people that vote for that person. And they continue to look at things like this, tunnel vision. The point is, they treat people like that because they are like that. They think everybody else is like that. Because that's how they think. Does that make sense? They project their own thoughts onto other people. That's why, like, again, I will continue to always respect Asmund, because even though we disagree on politics, he understands, you know, how to deduce something without pushing his agenda on other people. Does that make sense? Like, he doesn't implicitly, you know what I mean? Like, he'll deduce it and try to look at it both ways. Like, I can understand it this way and stuff like that, and properly try to give respect to the other side and look at it that way. My only beef with anybody else that sits here and plays video games and stuff like that is, if you're gonna sit and make every stream about politics, and you're gonna continue to do that, like, you're gonna sit here and peddle off the politics because people want a further perpetuated bullshit propaganda that they were right about the person they voted for, go ahead. You go ahead and make people feel better that they were right about the person they voted for. It's not gonna help anything. You know, the point is, like, all you're doing is further confirming that people just want to feel right, even when they're not. So all you're doing is just confirming that that's the way people want to feel. You're not helping anything. I mean, he already confirmed this. He already even said this when he made his statement about how he feels about therapists and stuff, which I agree with him on. But it was very obvious that, yeah, that's the way he views things and stuff like that. So when that's the way he views things, yeah, that's what people are going to do with it. And that's what his audience, he has to realize that's what they're going to do. So you need to be accurate about your information if you're going to make a stream about that, and not sit there and misinform. Because that's where then I'll start to have a problem. Is I typically don't get on here and give you guys a bunch of nonsense. You know, if I'm going to talk politics, it's really just going to come from a place of, you know, I kind of looked this up. This is what's going on. Just so you know, I'm not going to sit here and talk personal stuff. I don't talk about how old they are. I don't talk about the affairs they had and stuff. Doesn't mean anything to me as far as their policies and how they run the country. I don't do those things. That's kind of the point. I just try to look at what they did and what they're going to do and talk about that stuff. And you know, there was a time, like I said, where you know, Asmund said something that was literally just untrue. It's totally untrue, and even titled the stream and stuff like that, and I was just like, wow, I can't believe he misinformed that badly. It was just a complete lie, and it was politics, and so I get it. He has clickbait stuff and stuff like that, and that's what this is. But don't do this with politics, please, because people are genuinely misinformed. And now you're using your same clickbait, very obvious sarcasm, where it's like the opposite of what you mean in the title. But with politics, please don't do that, because people are, I hate to say the word stupid, but they are. Alright, so when I use that word, I don't think of people as being lesser, like, intelligence and stuff like that. It's more like, I think about that as refusal of new information. Somebody is not smart if they refuse new information that is contrary to what they thought was fact. They're being presented with fact better than what they know, and it overrides that. It's like, wow, this is real proof. And then they'll still continue to believe the original thing, even though the new fact is correct, overrides it. That's stupid, in my opinion. That is literally look up the definition. It's refusal. Like, that's the point. You are refusing that information, and you are remaining dumb. You're not learning. stupid. And again, it's not an insult. I'm not saying it as that. It's a word. Like, we've attached this word to demeaning things and stuff. I get that. That's part of the issue. People feel that way, and then they project that problem on somebody that's trying to help them and stuff like that. No, your feeling of being stupid is your problem. You actually kind of recognize that it's an issue that you have, and you can't just sort of can't deal with it. So start accepting the new information and changing your mind on people. You know, it's okay to change your mind on a politician that you voted for. It's just that people have all these families, and their family like hates them and stuff. You shouldn't do that. That's the problem. Unfortunately, I'm out of time. We're gonna run out of battery here. I gotta get going. I apologize. Thank you, Chelsea. Appreciate you. I will check out your songs. Thank you so much. I better get off here though before I go. Gotta go. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. Take care.